There is a moment in every story where the roads open wide and the legend truly begins. And for our journey through the quickest machines of the 1970s, that moment arrives with the 1970 Chevy Chevelle SS 454. It stood in the sunlight of a restless America, a country that breathed gasoline and chased freedom 1/4 mile at a time. People still remember the way it looked. Broad shoulders, long steel lines, a face carved with quiet menace. That trapezoidal grille, painted deep black, seemed to swallow the daylight like a storm rolling across the plain. Yet beneath all that muscle was a heartbeat that felt almost alive. A 454 cubic inch V8, a thunderclap wrapped in chrome, sending well over 360 horses through the rear wheels. It surged from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 5½ seconds, quick enough to make the horizon jump toward you. Back in 1970, a properly equipped SS 454, especially the LS6 cars, carried a sticker that typically approached $5,000, placing it among the pricier muscle machines of its day. Today, collectors often pay well over $100,000, sometimes far more for pristine examples. And as we roll deeper into this countdown, if you find yourself enjoying the ride, feel free to subscribe to American Muscle Soul. I would be glad to have you along for every mile. Few automobiles have ever entered American streets with the same fearless personality that defined the Pontiac GTO Judge. Its arrival felt like a burst of color across a gray horizon, the kind of entrance that made people stop mid-conversation just to watch it pass. Bold stripes traced its body with the confidence of an artist signing a finished painting, and the split grille gave the car a playful smirk that hinted at trouble in the best possible way. Even at idle, the Judge looked ready to sprint. Inside, simplicity ruled, but never at the cost of character. Clear gauges sat directly in front of the driver, framed by familiar textures of vinyl and brushed metal. The bucket seats held the driver firmly, as if the car itself understood that spirit and control needed to move together. Those who grew up during this era often speak of the interior with a sense of fondness, remembering how everything felt both purposeful and effortless. Power came from the Ram Air 400 cubic inch V8, a force that delivered more than 360 eager horses. The car surged to 60 miles per hour in just under 6 seconds, proving that its attitude was backed by genuine strength. Most dealerships price the Judge in the mid-$3,000 range, making it an attainable dream for drivers craving speed. Today, pristine examples command well over $150,000, a reflection of how deeply the Judge earned its place in muscle car history. If this wild and rowdy Judge still speaks to you, drop a comment with the number 1. If it never really clicked for you, leave a 0. Let us see where the crowd stands. Racers of the late 60s still speak about a certain Camaro with a tone usually reserved for rare treasures. That car was the ZL1, a machine that looked deceptively ordinary to anyone who didn't know what lived beneath its hood. Its lines were crisp, its profile disciplined, and its stance low enough to suggest purpose without ever raising its voice. 5-spoke wheels caught the light with a metallic glint that hinted at something more serious than typical street performance. Those who stepped close enough sensed a quiet tension running through the bodywork, as if the entire car had been built around a single idea: uncompromised speed. Even the front fascia felt intentional, shaped around broad air inlets that seemed eager to draw in as much pavement as the driver could offer. People familiar with its origins understood what made the ZL1 different. It was born from racing demands, not marketing plans. Under the hood waited an all-aluminum 427 cubic inch V8, engineered with a precision almost unheard of in production cars of its time. Official numbers undersold its true capability. Real output soared past 400 horses with ease. Once unleashed, the car reached 60 miles per hour in just under 6 seconds, delivering acceleration that felt abrupt and unwavering. A sticker price climbing past $7,200 limited production to only 69 units. That scarcity has since transformed the ZL1 into one of the most valuable American performance legends, with pristine examples regularly reaching into the upper six figures. The 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner GTX arrived at a moment when Chrysler wanted brute strength wrapped in a sharper, prouder silhouette. Its body carried the square-shouldered confidence of the era, shaped with lines that looked carved from solid steel. The split grille framed a pair of hawk-eyed lamps that stared out with quiet intensity, while the side stripes traced along the body like the lingering trail of a passing storm. Inside, the cabin remained simple, but carried a subtle elegance, the kind that greeted drivers with honest gauges and bright chrome catching the afternoon Sunday. Beneath the hood lived the force that defined the GTX. Most buyers chose the 440 cubic inch V8, a deep-breathing powerhouse that delivered well above 380 horses to the pavement. When fitted with the mighty Hemi, the car could launch from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 5.5 seconds, a burst of acceleration that pushed the horizon forward as if the world itself were in motion. Its original price rested a little above $3,700, a remarkable sum for such authority on wheels. Today, collectors often pay between $80,000 and more than $150,000 depending on originality and condition, with the rare Hemi versions commanding far more. Bright colors were nothing new in the muscle car world, yet the Buick GSX managed to make Saturn yellow feel like a statement all its own. The moment the paint caught sunlight, the entire car seemed to vibrate with a kind of restless energy. Crisp body lines framed the long hood, chrome trim added a touch of pride, and the bold striping across the top created a look that balanced attitude with deliberate craftsmanship. It was unmistakably Buick, but with a sharper edge than the brand typically revealed. Inside, the cabin offered a familiar mix of comfort and focus. The gauges sat clean and legible, framed by brushed metal that reflected just enough light to feel upscale without distraction. Bucket seats held the driver securely, giving a sense of readiness that matched the big block rumbling beneath the hood. That rumble came from the powerful 455 cubic inch V8, especially fierce in Stage 1 form. Output stretched well past 360 horses, supported by heavy torque that arrived instantly. Acceleration to 60 miles per hour in a little more than 5.5 seconds felt smooth yet forceful, the kind of motion that pressed the driver firmly into the seat without losing composure. A sticker price slightly above $4,800 placed the GSX among the premium offerings of its time. Today, collectors often pay six-figure sums for clean Stage 1 examples, a testament to how fully this car earned its place among American performance icons. If you are still here with me at this point in the countdown, drop a comment with the number 5 so I know you are still riding along with these legendary machines. Muscle car fans often remember the Oldsmobile 442 as a machine that carried its strength with quiet dignity. Rather than shouting for attention, it projected confidence through wide fenders, clean body lines, and a stance that looked firmly planted even before the engine fired. The squared grille and rectangular lamps created a calm, determined expression, the kind that suggested the car rarely needed to prove itself. Inside, the sense of balance continued. Oldsmobile always favored subtle refinement, and the cabin made that clear through supportive seating, clear instrumentation, and restrained use of brightwork. Nothing felt excessive, yet everything felt thoughtfully arranged for drivers who appreciated both comfort and performance. Under the long hood waited the heart that defined the 442. A 455 cubic inch V8, especially the W30 version, delivered well above 360 horses, along with a deep swell of torque that arrived instantly. The name itself spoke of its character: 4-barrel carburetor, 4-speed transmission, and dual exhaust. When pressed, the car surged to 60 miles per hour in a little more than 5.5 seconds, responding with a smooth, rising force that never felt hurried. Pricing for a W30 equipped model typically hovered near $4,800 in 1970, placing it among the more serious performance offerings of its day. Current collectors often pay between $60,000 and well above $100,000, with the finest cars commanding even more due to their rarity and authenticity. Few muscle cars of the late 60s carried the same commanding presence as the Dodge Charger RT. Its long, fastback roofline swept into a single band of glowing taillamps, creating a silhouette that seemed to stretch the length of the road itself. Wide fenders and deep body lines gave the car a sense of mass and purpose, while the hidden headlamps behind a full-width grille brought a calm, confident stare that became one of the Charger's most recognizable traits. Stepping inside revealed a cabin designed for drivers who valued both power and comfort. The dashboard wrapped gently toward the driver, gauges stood crisp and uncomplicated, and the seating provided a steady hold without sacrificing the relaxed posture long trips often required. Many enthusiasts remember this interior as a place where the sound of a big block felt right at home. Beneath the hood, the 440 cubic inch Magnum V8 supplied more than 370 horses through a single 4-barrel carburetor. Its exhaust note rolled out with a deep, unmistakable rumble that echoed across parking lots and nighttime highways. When asked for speed, the Charger RT surged to 60 miles per hour in just under 6 seconds, delivering acceleration that felt deliberate rather than frantic. For those who chose the rare 426 Hemi, the experience grew even more intense. A sticker price slightly above $3,700 made the RT accessible to many drivers of the era. Today, values vary widely, with clean examples often reaching between $70,000 and $150,000, while Hemi cars exceed that range by a considerable margin. Among the bold shapes that defined American performance in the early 70s, few carried a more unmistakable posture than the Plymouth Cuda. A single glance revealed a machine that blended athletic tension with unmistakable attitude. The low roofline, tight front overhang, and split grille formed a face that looked alert and ready, as if the car could leap forward the moment the key turned. Even at rest, the Cuda seemed coiled with purpose. The side profile reinforced that impression. Firm lines ran the length of the body like strokes from a craftsman intent on capturing motion through steel. Small, focused headlamps sat beneath a brow that gave the car a predatory intensity. Enthusiasts often recall how the Cuda looked as though it were leaning into the wind even while standing still. Power for most buyers came from the trusted 440 cubic inch V8, a deep-voiced engine producing well above 330 horses with help from a Holley 4-barrel carburetor. In the right hands, the Cuda could reach 60 miles per hour in just under 6 seconds, delivering a burst of acceleration that felt raw and unfiltered. Those who opted for the legendary 426 Hemi stepped into an entirely different realm, where the boundaries of street performance began to blur. Pricing just under $3,000 in 1970 made the Cuda surprisingly attainable. Today, collector interest remains strong, with clean examples ranging from $80,000 to $150,000, while Hemi models climb into far higher territory due to their rarity and reputation. Few factory-built Mustangs have ever carried the quiet authority of the Boss 429, a machine born not from marketing but from the demands of NASCAR homologation. Its long hood stretched forward with the confidence of a predator surveying open ground, while the subtle bulges along the fenders hinted at the massive engine tucked tightly between widened shock towers. 5-spoke wheels and a low, leveled stance added to the impression that this was a Mustang built for something beyond ordinary streets. Inside, the cabin maintained the familiar Mustang layout but carried an undertone of seriousness. Gauges stood crisp, the seating held the driver firmly, and the overall atmosphere suggested that every detail existed to support the engine's intentions. Nothing felt extravagant, yet everything felt prepared for speed. That intent became clear the moment the semi-hemispherical 429 cubic inch V8 came to life. Official ratings listed a modest 375 horses, though anyone who drove one knew the real output was stronger. The Holley 4-barrel carburetor fed the engine with a steady rush of air and fuel, allowing the car to reach 60 miles per hour in just under 6 seconds. Acceleration felt dense and forceful, more like a controlled surge than a simple sprint. A sticker price just under $4,800 placed the Boss in rare company for its era. Today, its racing pedigree and limited production run elevate clean examples into the realm of serious collectibles, often exceeding $300,000 and rising even higher at major auctions. Many enthusiasts recall the AMC AMX as a machine that challenged Detroit's giants with a confidence far larger than its compact footprint. Its shape carried a kind of defiant athleticism, marked by a sharply sloped nose and a fastback roofline that gave the car a forward-leaning posture. The split grille framed a pair of focused headlamps, while the round taillamps at the rear added a distinctive signature that set the AMX apart from its rivals. The interior maintained a straightforward charm. Instruments were arranged with clarity, the bucket seats held the driver securely, and the surrounding metal and vinyl created an atmosphere that felt honest rather than ornate. AMC emphasized purpose over flash, and that philosophy shaped each surface inside the cabin. Beneath the hood, most buyers chose the formidable 390 cubic inch V8, an engine that produced more than 300 horses with a steady, confident tone. Fed by a 4-barrel carburetor, it delivered acceleration that pushed the car to 60 miles per hour in a little under 6 seconds, offering a level of performance that surprised many who underestimated AMC's engineering capabilities. The result was a driving experience that blended raw force with a sense of mechanical integrity. A factory price just above $3,390 made the AMX one of the more accessible muscle offerings of its era. Today, collectors value its rarity and character, with well-kept examples ranging from $50,000 to $90,000 and exceptional cars climbing even higher. Looking back at these machines from the 70s, you can almost feel the roads they once ruled and the power that shaped an entire generation of American speed. If you enjoyed this journey through the quickest legends of the era, make sure to like the video and subscribe to American Muscle Soul for more stories from the golden age of horsepower. Your support keeps these classics alive, and there is always another great machine waiting just down the road.